Hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the foolish worlds of FoolCraft. And we're here in the city of maybe, outside of the Fool Park entrance. In our last episode, we created the fountain and the green grass are surrounding and the hedge work. And of course, prior to that, we created the pathway, the marquee, and all of these beautiful details here. Doesn't this look absolutely amazing? Taking Chisel and Bits to the next level with terraforming and landscaping. And that's what we're going to do today. But I want to stop here and thank you guys very much for all the support lately with unable to make regular videos as I was maybe a few weeks ago, where we were able to get quite a few videos out a week. Unfortunately, I'm kind of here and there with videos because of my health and just dealing with things that keep popping up and having to go to the doctor, hospital, back and forth. It's been really hard and it makes it difficult to make videos, but I appreciate each and every one of you for always supporting me and coming out when the videos do show up and the streams. So I just want to thank you guys so much for that, because you make my life much better, and I hope I repay you by making you some fun and exciting videos. So let's get into it. So heading through the gate here, we find a giant grass field. So what do we want to do with this grass field? We've talked about ponds, little hills, custom trees with chisel and bits, and pathways, even little ice cream carts and balloon carts inspired by Up. So that's what we're going to do. Are we going to get to all that today? Probably not, but we're going to get a good bit of it done here. So see this pathway? We're going to start taking this pathway out, and we're going to start kind of meandering it around and maybe build up some custom hills and some custom trees and different things along those lines. So I think that's going to be really fun to start establishing the park and start getting all those little details that we want to accomplish. Now, over here at the stress gate, we'll create little pathways, of course, coming out of here and the false gate. But over here, let's take a look at this real quick. And remember, it's kind of laggy here in the city of maybe now. So if it kind of stutters here and there, I apologize about that. There's not a lot I can do. I might have gotten a little crazy with the chisel and bits, maybe. I don't know, but it's gotten very laggy. But here's these little pathway pieces. I want to take the design that we used here and expand upon it and make it even better in the park. So out here we have these bigger pieces. So I'm thinking about doing maybe some smaller squares with a little bit more of kind of a rounded-ish kind of cobbled look to it. We'll think about it, maybe. So we'll take that and we're gonna flow it all the way around here, and some custom trees and different things like that. I do want to see if we can make the park in an autumn design, because I know you guys wanted to see what that might look like. The issue is if we can't chisel and bit an autumn tree, then we're kind of in a predicament and we'll have to go back to maybe a springtime for the park, and that'll be super cool. So let me go get some supplies and we can get rolling with this project. Gathering some supplies in this absolutely beautiful forest biome. I love it here. Probably not the best way to get gravel, but it's the only gravel that I could find. Maybe we could actually head to an ocean or something along those lines and get a bit more. But did I get any more? No. I need more gravel, because I decided instead of using, say, the grass block like we were using before, I think where we're going to be actually going with now is the concrete block. I actually think it's going to be really, really amazing. And seriously, it's so laggy. It is really hard to actually get anything done. Let's see, anything else? Let's see, that's, oh boy, that's not a lot of gravel. We've got to go to the ocean. It's going to make things a lot easier. But when I was flying over here, the real reason is I found the autumn biome. That is right. So I think what we're going to do is, if we can chisel and bit these trees down, we can create our little autumn parkside design, which I think is going to be amazing. All right, please work. Come on, big money. No. Oh, you hurt me. Don't you? It does. It hurts. Oh, I really hoped we could have chiseled and bit those. Oh, we got one. What is this? This one worked. Oh, is that just oak? That's just oak. Life is cruel, isn't it? That is unfortunate. We can't have chisel and bit colored leaves. Like, that would have been amazing in autumn park. We've got to keep that idea, right? We've got to keep that idea alive. Just maybe there's some other way of doing this. I think it's like a super unique, cool idea, but unfortunately, not for this project. Welcome back to Fool's Park, and unfortunately, we cannot go with our autumn design. I traveled the world trying to find any leaves that we could chisel and bit that has color to them, a little bit of orange, a little red, any of those things, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen. So super sad. Ooh, look at the city of Maybe from up here. Doesn't that look really cool? But yeah, I traveled everywhere, and Azuma's base down here looks really, really cool. I need to actually render in this section or update it so that it shows the whole wastelands. But yeah, kind of unfortunate, but let's get to work. I think using the concrete, like I said before, is going to be a really great plan, because remember when we were working on the grass out in the front gate area, we had some trouble by digging down into the blocks. So let me show you real quick. Once you start kind of digging down a little bit here, you start encountering, wait, I'm like, you know, when you start digging down, I'm not encountering it at all. Okay, can I have this block for everything? But anyway, when you do bring it down, you start getting some of the brown. So actually, you probably actually want to move this down a couple layers. So then you would, in theory, let me grab out a single block. Can I get something to work today? Can I get something? There we go. So yeah, once you start kind of building up these little pieces like that, so they have a little bit more variety in shape and size and things along those lines, you start encountering some of the faces of the block turn brown. So I think using concrete, we will avoid that. So let's jump over here. And I did a global traveler on this chest so we can get a whole bunch of a sand and a gravel. And let's grab ourselves a little flora green from Azuma's shop and let's get busy. So what we want to build is the green concrete powder. So I think that's going to be amazing. And it's awesome having this actually in the mod pack. Hold on, let me actually fill this in. It's like this, correct? That's the recipe? I think it is. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't play that game with me. No, you can't use the Botania. Come on, everybody loves Botania, whatever that is. I have no idea. Oh, no, you can only use vanilla dyes. Can life be any more frustrating? We can't do our fun autumn design. We can't now do this. Okay, we're gonna have to find some vanilla dyes. I don't have any. I've been relying on Azuma's dye shop. Okay, well, that's a thing. Hold on, let me see if I have some vanilla dyes. Okay, oh my gosh, thank God. I'm like, dang, that would have been actually kind of devastating if we didn't have any. Okay, here we go. Come on, this is gonna work this time. Can we get it to work? Okay, so do a little something like that, a little like that. Wait, whoops, wait, sorry, my bad. There we go. Okay, so can this work? Okay, it can. It makes me happy. All right, okay. All right, let's see if we can do this. Oh, this is gonna be really cool. By doing something like this, let me actually go with this. There we go. And let me swap that over to here. So if we can start doing stuff like this, I think we can do some amazing terraforming. So yeah, once again, guys, it's problem solving with Scar time. We never let it get to us, right? We just persevere, keep on swimming. All right, there we go. This is going to be really, really cool once we have that all assembled. It's going to take a little bit to figure out how to do this, but once we get some browns, once we get some greens and some custom chisel and bit trees, this thing's going to be amazing. Resources in hand, it is finally time to start terraforming. Now, I've set up a little farm down here, so we've got the massive tower of cocoa beans and of course our cactus forest over there. So let's get busy. Now, as you can see, I've laid out just some really basic shapes of the park here. So in this area right here, this of course is going to be the little pond lake area. Now these are our little pathways that kind of bring you around and around of course the edges of the pond. So through the falls and the stress gate, and then this little pathway winds its way over to the main gate. Now what I'd love to have is either this area right here become maybe a field, if you will, or potentially a hillside right here, and maybe even a little creek flowing through here with a little bridge kind of going over it. I think would look really, really nice. So why did you do that? Why did I do that? Anyway, so yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to have like potentially a nice little grassy field here. What could we do on the grass field? Like hashtag grass field ideas. So we could do like a mini baseball field, or maybe we could do something where maybe somebody's got like an easel, you know, put up there doing a little painting, maybe a picnic, if you will. Oh, the ideas are endless. Okay, so let's see here. I think what I'm going to do is do a little hillside right here. So what I want to do is just like a really basic start to this. Now, we don't, of course, have our walls all along here. They're not built along, you know, like a slope. So this is going to have to taper down just shy of the edge there. And I don't want to go too high, right? We're trying to keep things in balance and scale with the area. So I wouldn't assume that we would go any higher than about 3 blocks, because the reason being is with the chisel and the bits, we can kind of taper off the edges a little bit and smooth it off, and it'll give even a bigger feel to it. So I think if we just go along here a little bit, and we just start kind of chopping it in and out, and then we can come in, of course. Oh boy. We just had a little lag spike there. So if we come in here, we can kind of clean it off a little bit with the chisel and the bits. So yeah, I think this is perfect. Just go up about 3 blocks to 2 blocks here. And then, this is an idea. How do we chisel and bit a pathway going up a slope, right? Like that seems like really daunting in terms of getting all the little bits in their places, but it would look really nice. So if we bring this across here, just want to get a really basic start to this. And I think that field is a good idea because, you know, any good park's got a big green grassy field, correct? I think so. So we put that down right there. Come on now. Come on, lag. You're really killing me today. I've had the server crash so many times on me today. But we're making progress. It's all right. We're going to get there today. We're going to get there together. So we start like building that up. And like I said, we can make a slow taper upwards with chisel and bits to really smooth out the edges. Now, of course, this is our grass field. And over here, we can even do just a little bit of digging, right? Start maybe kind of plotting out where the banks of our little pond's going to go. I want to leave a lot of room on the edges so that we can, you know, add lots of big trees and maybe even another small teeny little pathway that runs along the edgeway. So I think that would be really, really cool. And as for, you know, the little things that make the park feel special, right? You know, you've got your ice cream cart with the little bells and a little cart with the balloons and things along those lines. I think that's what's really going to sell the story here and be really, really awesome. So, let's look at this real quick. I'm just trying to get some like really basic shapes built into this so far. We don't have to get really crazy with the design yet, but as long as we can get the very, very fundamentals of this down, I will be very, very happy. There we go. Bring that across there like so. Awesome. So it's not a perfect circle. I thought I broke my shovel for a second. I forgot. This thing's not breaking. I've lost so many shovels in Hermitcraft, so I was like, oh no, not again. So something really basic like that's really good. And of course, we can build up the banks back here just a little bit like we're doing back there and have some trees up there. Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, so we've got this, right? So if we start working on this, and then I think this is good. I think this is a really good start to our basic layout of this area. So let me start working on this a little more and kind of see where it'll take us. Now that is some progress. Let's take a look at this. So as you can see down over here, we've got our pond and I'm slowly building up the banks and just trying to envision how things will flow. And then of course right here, we're just kind of building up a little bit of a hill, but let's actually start and go through the actual fence. So when you come through a pathway like this, really try to envision how the person walking on a path will perceive and see the thing that you are creating. So off to the right-hand side, we have our field, which is nice. You can see all the little details, but on the left-hand side, that's the adventure, because this is the pathway that you don't fully see the result of your trip through it, right? So you'll kind of walk your way up here and you're like, what's this? Oh, look at these fancy, think of the trees. They're not here yet, but they will be. Ooh, look at the trees. But once you come down the hill, you see, whoa, look at that. It's like a reward. You're paying off the viewer to see this amazing, you know, pond that we're going to create. So always think of that as people are walking through an area that you're trying to build or design is sightlines. Try to give some reward at the end of the pathway. So that encourages, you know, the person, if you're building something that people will walk through, you'll want to travel to the end of the pathway. I learned that through theme park design is, you know, you want to put something enticing for people to make it all the way to the end of the land. So put the castle at the end of Main Street, put this, that, and the other thing here and there to encourage people to move throughout the area. So let's jump in over here. And I think this is good. So this is a 2-step difference up onto the top like that. I think that's perfect. And then it goes right down into the pond. Now, I'm a little bit stuck right now because I really want to do something. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So I'd love to have like a miniature little stream potentially flowing its way here. So say this is where we do the walkway or the little bridge over the walkway, right? Bridge over the walkway? That makes no sense. The bridge over the water. That Scar, come on now. So then I don't know where it flows next. See, that's the thing. It's like, this is a little thing that flows around here. Potentially, maybe we do like a little waterfall. There we go. That's it. Bam. Waterfall off this spot right here. We'll just build this up just a little bit thicker. And this is what I love about Minecraft. Like, this is one of my favorite parts of building and things along those lines, is this phase where you're just here with the dirt and you're flowing it around, coming up with ideas. You know, that the term for that's like blue sky, but this is like brown sky. Because it's dirt and you're trying to come up with ideas. It works. Believe me, it does. It does. But yeah, I think a waterfall, that's how we do it. So we do a waterfall across here. It can flow across here and then through there and then back into the pond. It's gonna be amazing. I'm very excited about that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna do it off of one level up. So this, of course, dips down into level 2. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this across this direction. Yes, very nice. And then it'll go over here, cut under this guy. There we go. And then right up to here, and then we'll just have a nice little wide splash pool for the water to flow into. Bam. There we go. And of course, any good waterfall, you always got to cut back here so it doesn't just roll off the blocks. You want it to have a bit of a cascading feel. So cut back a little bit there. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. I mean, it takes a little bit of a vision, right, to kind of see what this will all be in the end, but I think we finally have a proper layout. Making some additional progress on our rudimentary terraforming of the area. So we have some general hills, and of course we have our pond down at the end and our area where we'll have our grass field. So I think that's looking pretty cool. Now I'm doing some very, very subtle kind of tests to see what we can do in terms of terraforming with the chisel and bits. And I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of what I've done here. Now, of course, I've got the concrete powder, and I've been kind of experimenting on and off with it, and I haven't really found a really good balance yet. What I love about using concrete in terms of landscaping, I like to kind of mix it in a little bit within the dirt. And originally I was thinking we would just do it all either, you know, brown and then green on top of that, but I just couldn't find something that looked good. Today, once again, a lot of trial and error with Scar, which seems like every episode lately has been a little bit of trial and error with Scar. So let's pull this out and let's kind of see where this can take us. So working again with the standard dirt block plus grass, and over here where our little walkway will kind of like go over the edge. I just been doing it really subtle. I feel like I may have gotten a little too in the weeds with details back at this other pile over there. As you can see, we got really detailed, but I felt like that's a case of going overboard with details. And you can definitely do that, especially say like painting, when you spend all your time just focusing on details very up close and you back up a little bit and you're like, whoa, that does not look good anymore. So that's when I saw that, I was like, this is definitely a case of getting in the weeds there. So that's why we're kind of working on this, just being a little more subtle with it, right? Just trying to be a little bit more subtle here. So what I've been thinking about is if the lower region down below, we do this giant block, right? As Chisel and Bit goes, this is a giant block. And then as we get up a little higher, we can get just a little bit smaller. So say we jump into this guy. So what if we did something a little bit there? So we start out big and we just gently get a little bit smaller as we get up. And then that's definitely going in a proper kind of perspective. So I think that'll totally work. Now, my next question, and this one may get just a little bit harder, is how do we take this design right here and we work that all the way up here? I assume it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine, but then there's like a little apprehension like, I'm not sure how that's definitely going to work. As I was doing this, guys, I may or may not have watched the Scary It trailer, and now I'm terrified. I'm all alone on the server, right? It's kind of like dark out right now where I'm at, and I watched it. I was sent it by a friend, and I watched it, and I regret it very much right now because I'm kind of creeped out. I'm all alone. I only have you guys. Oh, keep me company. I'm so scared. I'm not a big fan of clowns, and I watched that trailer thinking, you know what, I'm a big boy now. I was a very young Scar when I watched that trailer and that movie long ago, and it scared me to no end. I'm not scared anymore. Like I said, I'm a big Scar. No, not at all, guys. I'm the same old Scar, apparently. I'm just as scared. Oh, man. Anyway, I think that's starting to look good. Look at that gentle kind of slope going downwards. Now, like I said before, actually, I don't think we have enough materials. I think we're running out, guys. But like I said, we're gonna take this now and see about kind of what you're not who I want. You're not who I want. This is what I want. There we goes. And this is what I'm, okay, we're really out of materials at this point. Let me just borrow this real quick. There we go. Don't tell anybody I borrowed that. So we take this guy and then we come on now. Oh, I actually got to use the thing. Oh, it's just one of those days, guys. I watched that trailer. I'm blaming it on the It trailer. There we go. So see how we do this very subtly at the top. Oh, I think this is going to be absolutely perfect. Just a little bit at the top, just to give it that extra little bit of perspective. Yes, perfect. There we go, my friends. So let me do a little bit more of this, and we'll take that pathway and see if we can bring it throughout the park. The start of the terrain is starting to look good. As you can see, we started to kind of spread it outwards a little bit. So I think that's really cool. Now we're taking the design that we did over here into the path along this section over here. So we're making the stones a little bit smaller. So our goal now is to start figuring out how to bring them up and over the little mound here. So let's grab out, actually, do we have any left? Please tell me we do. Okay, we do. It's okay. So what we can do now is start kind of pulling these pieces outwards like so, and then finding little spots like this and that here and there. That'll work. So we can start putting some little details like so, and we can start bringing this one out like that. So, the question is, how do we make this gap? That's going to be an interesting one. Once we get there, we'll figure it out. Once we get there, we'll figure it on out. So let's bring these guys a little bit closer here and there. My idea now that all the little pieces are now up against the wall here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start building it up like that. Take out this particular piece here and expand out the edges so it just narrowly hangs over the edge. I think that's our solution. And we're going to, of course, knock this all out, guys. So don't worry about that. So we're going to push that downwards, give this thing some definition like the other pieces there. Look at that. That's already looking good. And of course, we can hang a little bit of grass under here. I think that'd look really, really nice. So let's go back to that and click our draw the regions. And then let's do an additional one coming off this section right there. So we'll do one right there. And of course, we'll knock that out and add a little extra detail here and there. And then let's do, the question is, what if we did something like this instead? No, I think it's good the other way. I think it's good the other way. Let's do it that way once again. So we'll do another piece going out like that. And then another one there, and then potentially just a nice skinny one kind of going off that direction there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So then we'll pull that back to this piece, and then we can start working these all the way up. Oh man, this is gonna be really great. It's super time consuming. I'm sure you could use your papers for this. So grab out these guys and make this easier, but I like the custom nature of it, right? I like to take these out and just each one's just a little bit unique, and so it's not a lot of repeated patterns, because I hate it when it gets too repeaty and it just looks a little bit forced, where it's like, you just repeated that pattern 1,000 times and it looks very unnatural. So I think this is gonna be good. I think this is gonna be good. So we need to take this pattern right here and we need to bring it all the way up here, all the way down around there into the stress gate. And of course, we need to take the false gate and then run that all the way up there. Now that is a lot of these little, whoa, wow, I just really got rubber banded there. That's a lot of these pushes, but that's okay. This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be well worth it and very cool little pathway. So let me get busy. Welcome back, and progress is slow, but I thought I'd give you guys an update here. But look at the pathway, as little as we got done, this thing is starting to look really cool, how it works its way up the actual kind of cliff here, and it has this little step up each time. Now on this side over here, I'm starting to kind of weatherize the bricks here, so they're starting to get chipped away a little bit. And of course, eventually we'll get some of the shadings and things along those lines. I also like roughing up the terrain around it. It looks really cool from above. And it's things you got to keep in mind. Some things look really cool up close, and when you get it back, you're like, whoa, what is going on there? And then vice versa. So you kind of have to have a bit of a balance, especially when it comes to chisel and bits. But look at how it kind of flows its way over the top there. I think that's looking really cool. This looks like a bit of a blank spot. So why don't we double check? Perfect. And let's just give that an extra little brick right there. There we, oh, hello there. You are a little brighter than I thought. Let's go with this one. There we go. Looking very nice. Nice. Okay. So as you can see, this is going to go along where the little pond is going to go. So it's going to go like that and maybe around and then into the stress gate. And then of course we'll take a little pathway from the false gate and we'll bring that all the way over here. Kind of add a little extra right here because that's where maybe a dock's going to go. And there's going to be a couple rowboats that, you know, you could rent. Things along those lines I think would be really nice for a park setting. And of course, that's where it'll connect via a bridge. So yeah, I think things are actually starting to come together. We've got this area partially terraformed. So that's starting to give us at least a basic idea how this will all come together. So I'll meet you at the other end. Pathway installed and almost ready to go. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing all of the grass in between the tiles. So this is a tedious process. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the connected texture. I'm going through here, knocking these out. But the issue is some of these pieces, like say if I take out this one, I take out like way too much in some areas. Some places you can get away with it, but then you want to come through here and just kind of gently, you know, shape it a little bit so it looks a little bit more natural because of course this is going to be replaced with dirt. So you don't want it to be really ugly and nasty, just a square of dirt. That would look very ugly when you're trying to do something natural and organic like we're trying to do right now. So as you can see, this takes a long time and we've got a long ways to go. So yeah, this will take a little bit longer. So I think we're actually getting some progress. It doesn't look like a lot at this point, but this has been a couple hours and I think it'll be well worth it. And see how we're starting to define the tiles. So that's starting to look really, really good. So why don't I do this a little bit more? And I'll see you guys in just a minute. Welcome back, and we now have the path fully connected and the detail is starting to be assembled. So let's fly down here and take a look at this at ground level. So we're starting to build up the walkways here and look at the actual elevation of the land, how it's really starting to be smoothed out. I think that is starting to look really, really nice. So let's push back over here just a little bit. And in some of these little corners, we can do some really cool details once we get to that point, but we're starting to get there, which is exciting. So one thing I'm doing is I'm scaling back on the leaves a little bit. I feel like I may have gotten a little too crazy with them. So I'm starting to scale them back. One definite thing that I noticed was I forgot to add the little highlights and shadows that we did out here. So this took quite some time to do. And now I'm doing like... It's like you can't even compare that amount to this. This has taken about 2 days at this point to kind of get this all assembled down here. And of course, all of the little hills. So I think these hills are starting to come out really, really cool. So let's fly over to this section. This is of course where the waterfall is going to flow down into the pond. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting the actual structure of the area set for those details. And of course, our little bridge that will connect between them. So I think this is looking really, really cool. So let's jump over here real quick and we grab out this guy. So it's actually really fun and just so relaxing, just kind of building up the edges like this. I think it is just super. Whoa, there we go. Like, where are you, my friend? There you are. So just kind of building up these edges and see, I'm still working on getting the grass and the dirt in these particular spots set up and are ready to roll. So the first stage of this, and this is all trial and error, my friends. This is the first time I've ever done this. So we are learning together here. And it's super fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So this is the first layer. You just kind of go block by block, block by block, and you just bring it down in scale. So let's just say once we bring this up here just a little bit closer, and you're always trying to bring it outwards, right? So start a little bit wider at the bottom and get a little skinnier at the top. So let's jump over to our next size here. In this area, we can start kind of filling in all of these little things, and you can imagine this takes some time. I'm sure there's probably some easier ways around it to make it a little quicker. So you can always let me know in the comments if there's any easier way. I tried one thing was do like draw your regions, and I was like going down to here and up to there. Now that actually did save a lot of time there. Huh. Maybe I should do this more. And then I goof up and now I regret it. So I think that's okay. I mean, that's somewhat of a time saver, but not like a ton. So then you can just kind of smooth out all of these edges, and that looks really, really nice. No, not the rain. But anyway, let's jump back over here. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's just kind of bringing that across there. So eventually we'll get this whole area set up and ready to roll. And then other thing is, let's jump over to our dirt. There we go. and then let's click that to the replace, and of course connected material. And then we can jump over here and then continue to remove all of our dirt through here. And I've been really trying to make sure we have like a little bit of dirt kind of around the edges, so I think that looks nice. And you know, you even can leave just a little bit of grass, right? You can leave a little bit hiding out there, but just make sure it looks natural. See, let's pull back here for a second, and let's go back to draw the regions and go to place. And what you can do is just kind of open this up a little bit, just to give it a little bit more of a natural feel, so it's not such a stark contrast around the edges like that. So then let's go back over to here, boom, and bam, and a click, and there we go. See, just little details like that make a huge difference in the design. And then on over to our leaves. So we'll click on our leaves here, switch that from replace, and then it's just down the cracks, just back and forth, just tap it, Happy, send it on home. Classic movie right there, Happy Gilmore, classic one. Anyone remember Happy Gilmore? In the comments, if you remember watching Happy Gilmore as a kid, you put it in the chat. I want to know. So let's continue to do this, and hopefully we can get this done and not get too cold out here in the rain. Things are definitely looking good here at the Fool's Park. Let's dive into the details. So if we fly on down here, we've got our super awesome fountain. We've got the marquee with the Fool's Park logo set up and ready to go up there. Now we have our meandering path, which works our way up these hills. And look at them, they're absolutely beautiful. I cannot believe that we can do this in Minecraft, right? Like, this is super awesome. So then we can work our way down. Like I said, I'm still trying to kind of weed back some of the grass here a little bit. I feel like it's a little too heavy, so I'm just kind of cutting it out here and there. Not going super fast, just slow, you know, just kind of figuring out where it's a little heavy and where it's not. So just kind of backing it off, and I think that's going to be good. So down below here, as you can see, I'm starting to add kind of the shadowing around the bricks, so that gives them just a little extra detail. I think that's looking really nice. And of course, we've got bridges to build, we've got waterfalls to go, and look at this. Like, look at this hill. Like, it's so much fun to kind of build in this style of very pixelated, but breaking it down in a little bit more detail than we can do, say, in vanilla. So I think that's super fun to be able to do. But yeah, look at it from above. Like, oh man, I'm really excited about the progress we've gotten. Like, when we started this thing was just a, you know, a blank green field. Now it's starting to have some life in it. It's got the pathways and all of those details. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has taken quite some time to get to this point, but I'm pretty happy with it. Next episode, we might do the waterfall, we might do the bridge, or maybe even the pond. Who knows? There is so much fun stuff we can do inside of the park. So guys, thank you. Whoa, I kind of got rubber band there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you later, and don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.